Welcome to the PewterCast, listeners and watchers. This is Ren Dax flying solo after a Bucs win. Have there at the bottom, Bucs win 1,000,000-0. What a game! Just what we needed. Get into the playoffs, first time for 13 years, and it was just pretty much what we hoped it would be. What we hoped the Bucs, offense and defense would be since the very beginning, and the Bucs came through and did it. No phone calls today. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in chat there for everybody. So just go ahead and click this link and I will bring you into the show and we will talk Buccaneers. So I talked about last week how the offense and defense sort of have to feed off each other, and we have to wait for the first person the first sort of squad to make a play for that to for one of those guys to get rolling. Thankfully, offensively and defensively, both on first drives, there was a penalty to keep things going. And the Bucs were off and rolling offensively and defensively. Matt Stafford, they only made it like a drive and a half before they brought in their backup quarterback, and everything, just came up Bucs. Mike Evans had a huge day. I didn't get the final count on his receiving yards. Cheryl just came back today, and she came back sort of like in the middle of the game. So, I was helping her unpack and talking and kind of watching the game over my shoulder and that kind of stuff. So I missed, a little bit of the fourth quarter there. So I'm not exactly sure where Mike Evans ended. But great game. Keyshawn Vaughn got in, looked good, looked real good. Didn't fumble the ball, didn't drop a pass. There was something nice. Leonard Fournette, as frustrated as I was at the beginning about him, I got to get myself centered here. There we go. As frustrated I was about Leonard Fournette early, it was those runs up the middle. As soon as I was about to send out a tweet about how Leonard Fournette, the next person who tells me Leonard Fournette's a big, powerful back, like I'm going to go ahead and ban them to the Isle of Elba. Because I think he touched the ball like 8 times by then, and he'd been knocked backwards 7. He just doesn't use his size and power. But as I was sort of, sculpting that tweet in my head, Brady threw to him twice. He made a guy miss, picked up a first down and then ran it in from like 6 yards out as Worth and Kappa just, he made that huge hole for Fournette just to run. And I'm like, well, I really can't justify sending that out, because then I would sound like I was running for Joe Bucs fan. The team was up like 26-0, and I'm complaining about how the running back doesn't run hard enough. But I liked how the team, was feeding Mike, tried to get him there, left him in there, into the third quarter, into the fourth a little bit too. I'm not sure if he finished the game or not. Also, the Devin White predicament seems to be fixed. We have, just spy the back. Like, that's what you do. It's like if it's a passing play, just spy the back. Wherever this back goes, you go. He goes out in the flat, go out in the flat and take him. Devin White going forward downhill can make that tackle 99 times out of 100. And if the back stays in, then just, shoot that kid out of a cannon. And he'll get to the quarterback and cause some ruckus back there. Pass rush looked good, but again, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, because of course the NFL is a week-to-week league, and 2, this was the Detroit Lions. I got someone in the waiting room. Looks like Corey from Nashville. I can't see him, so as soon as he shows his face, oh, there he is. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bring in Corey from Nashville, and we're gonna talk some Buccaneers.
Hey, man.
What's up, man?
Listen.
Good to see you.
Through the ebbs, through the flows, highs and the lows, regardless of what we want to say about this season, we are officially a playoff team after.
Playoff team. Congratulations, Bucs fans. It's only been.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all. We just want to see our team in January. We want to have something to. It's nice. The weather's nice. We want to go out, hang out with our friends, and drink beer and watch our team play on Sunday for the playoff. So sometimes you take things for granted. Especially when you're rooting for a bad team. The Browns haven't clinched anything, but I'll congratulate their fans as well if they do happen to clinch. It's just winning when you are so far away from it for so many years. You really take that crap for granted, man. Like, I'm just happy we can go into another team's stadium, and I really didn't even watch much of the game, quite frankly, because I already knew what was going to happen. It's just I was doing other stuff, man. It's just I peeked at the score because of fantasy football and everything,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm very excited for the next 60 yards for Mike Evans because he gets overlooked so much as an NFL wide receiver, and he's about to have his name is about to have the only name next to it, probably
Mm-hmm.
after 60 yards in next week. Just I'm really happy with some of the things Jason Light was able to do. Drafting Mike Evans was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping Levante David. Making sure we took care of him. We need to go ahead and take care of him again. And JPP has been a revelation. Those are great. Those are great things that Jason Light has done for us. Where I didn't JPP, I was like, oh well, he'll be a good player, but he's a damn Pro Bowl. They had 8.5 sacks last year. He's a Pro Bowler this year. Some of our players were overlooked, man, but at the end of the day, this team rallied together after that bye week, and we're 3-0. And remember, this is what I was saying going into the playoffs. We're 4-0. I don't care who we play. It's the NFL. We're the hottest team in the league. Okay,
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo winning on Sundays when you only get 16 opportunities to do so. It's not
Right.
the NBA. We don't play 800 games. Play 16. And if you can win, if you could take one part of your season and win 25% of those games straight, that sets you up for success. And the success now, we've put some hard work. I loved how focused Brady was today. Like I said, man, it's an NFL team, man. We didn't play that well against Minnesota, in my opinion. We didn't play that well obviously at the beginning of the Falcons game, but we came in laser focused, and that's what you want to
Mm-hmm.
see from your team week to week, man. You want to see the improvements. You want to see, all right, let's make a fast start. Well, is 30-0 fast enough for you? You know what I mean? Like, so it's not much to complain about. First of all, today was so monumental for me as a Bucs fan and everything that I've been through as a Bucs fan because I grew up in Atlanta and everything I've been through as a Bucs fan. So I'm not going to harp on anything negative. I just want to talk about us and how we feel as a fan base going to the playoffs. And God be willing, next week we'll be 4-0 going into the playoffs. And
Mm-hmm.
you watch some of the teams, man. What was the last number one overall seed to win a Super Bowl? You know what I mean? It happens obviously, but it's not. It don't
Yeah.
happen that often. Sometimes you get those Giants. You more than likely getting those Giants teams going in on a win streak at 10-6 and 9-7. Do get the 14-2 teams? That's just my opinion. I just think winning matters a lot going into the postseason.
Yeah, back to your JPP comment. Remember that we got JPP for a third-round draft pick because the Giants didn't think he could play in a 3-4 defense.
Right.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops. You can't underestimate his injury. Man, he broke his neck last. He had a broken bone in his neck last year. Came back 8.5 sacks. If that don't tell you what type of man that is, I really don't know what else will. Quite
Yeah.
frankly,
Got a
I
sack
just
on the
don't know.
first play. He was back out there. First play.
Yeah. He's amazing, man, and that's the type of leadership we need now. Going forward, like I said, Mike Evans, he breaks this record next week. Hopefully, he's
Yep.
gonna be the only one. And think about that, man. In NFL history, the only one. Is it gonna be 8 or 7?
This will be 7, I believe.
7 straight 1,000 yards. He's tied with Randy Moss right now, and he breaks the
Mm-hmm.
record. He'll be the only one.
Right.
People are not giving that enough credit. Like they really not. We're talking about wide receiver NFL.
How
We're talking
long
about
do you
Jerry
think
Rice,
before
T.O.,
that?
Randy Moss. Like,
How long do you think before that record falls because of the way the league is now? Could you look at somebody like Justin Jefferson for the Vikings? Without him getting injured, like that's almost a slam
you have
dunk guarantee.
to me, man. When you get those records, like what Mike Evans is about to approach, you have to have not only luck, you have to be healthy. You have to
Yeah.
have a quarterback that trusts you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, man, we don't have some great even in our in my time, I've seen some great wide receivers walk through the NFL, even get drafted. But I mean, through like free agency stuff. But drafting one and he's with that franchise, he breaks a record like that. That don't happen often, man. And that's why it's Randy Moss and Mike Evans because they were drafted to these franchises and these franchises kept them. Usually after 4 years, if you're not winning, wide receivers, divas, I need to get up out of here. Bye. Look at Antonio Brown's stat. Most touchdowns since 2014. He didn't last in Pittsburgh. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. Even his own quarterback airing them out for no reason on their radio show. So I just think you have to have the
No
type of love.
reason. It's Antonio Brown. I mean, come on
Yeah,
now.
yeah. There's no telling. Yeah, there's no telling how much they were getting from us. You're right. There's no telling how much.
I'm not gonna beat the drum for Antonio
But
Brown.
you have to have a.
How dare
But how
you
many
defend
wide
me, Antonio
receivers?
Brown?
How many wide receivers come through like Mike Evans though? Like he's so
Yeah.
low maintenance, it pisses me off sometimes. Like, you know,
Well, you got Fitzgerald. I think D-Hop's pretty low maintenance.
Yeah. I haven't heard him say "get me the ball"
Yeah.
or anything like that. I just think he's a player. But D-Hop, but here's the thing with D-Hop, he wasn't a first rounder. You know what I'm saying? Everything he got, he earned for. He was Sammy Watkins' Robin. You know what I mean? So it's like it was hard for him to build it. Mike Evans was a 7th overall pick. You know, at the end of the day, man, we are a playoff team. I'm so excited for what today meant for the franchise. I do a lot of harping and a lot of talking because I don't want things to be overshadowed that have where this team has come because of TB12. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people.
I have a little of that. I have a little of that where it's like it doesn't. Look, I'm excited we make the playoffs, but I really would have liked it make it with our own guy.
Right.
You know?
You like that with me. You like that with me. I mean, I'm like that with you. You're a little bit older than me, I guess. I give you some credit today.
Thank you.
But no, and I'm like that as well. But we have to look at our roster as a totality, our coaching staff as a totality. No matter what I want to say about Arians and Leftwich, wins add up, and they count the wins towards the coach. All right. Second year in Tampa, man, he leads us to the playoffs. Yes, we did get TB12. Awesome, great. But there are pieces that we put in place around him as well. Tristan Wirfs, man, how he didn't make the Pro Bowl is infuriating. I cannot name 5 to 10 offensive linemen, right tackles that have been better than him. He's having a Quentin Nelson rookie year, all pro right tackle, and that's probably what's going to happen. He's probably going to become an all pro right tackle, and when they do those votes later. And you'd be like, well, why he didn't make the Pro Bowl? But he's all pro. That's how they do. That's weird.
That's the way we do it here in Tampa.
Yeah, it's weird, but he's definitely, man, Antoine Winfield, he saved the game last week. I know the score was close. You'd be like, well, he didn't score a touchdown. He didn't have a turnover. That diving interception in the end zone, man, that's a rookie. That's a rookie bringing that type of mentality to our team. So I'm excited. I know you got other callers. I'm gonna let you go. I love you guys.
Not really.
I'll be calling back next week. Oh, you don't? Okay, well, we'll just have
fun. I got one waiting.
Day after Christmas.
I got one waiting. No, I do have one waiting, but I appreciate it.
I'm gonna let you get them, and I'll be calling back next week, man. I'll actually be in. I think I'll be in. No, I'll be just coming back. I go to Orlando tomorrow. Family little vacation, get away for a little bit. But this is a great way to start my week. My wife bought me Tampa Bay luggage.
Oh, nice,
awesome. Hey, man,
all right. Well, when you're flying into Orlando, look out to your. So you're flying from Nashville to Orlando. Look out to your left and wave when you're passing over St. Pete.
All right, that'll work. I can do that.
As soon as they say upright the chairs, then do it real quick, right then.
All right, cool.
About 100 miles out.
Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, Corey.
Next week, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, well, back-to-back Corys.
Yes, keeping the train rolling.
Friend of the pod and most well known for his beard. Before that, making great produced Buccaneers videos on YouTube. Then decided his family is more important and quit and left us all hanging dry. How are you, Corey?
Speaking of which, I think my baby just woke up, so I'll keep this short.
Okay.
Doing good, man. I just wanted to here, I'm trying to turn the volume down on the monitor. I just wanted to just come and celebrate. I wasn't even gonna call in, but I feel like, man, I live in Atlanta, and I don't have anybody to celebrate with. So I just want to say, hey, 12 years ago, when we were in the playoffs, I was in college watching the game at Gators Dockside in Gainesville.
Oh, wow.
It was, you had no way. I just thought we were going to keep rolling. And it's like, we lost that game. I guess it was against the Giants. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll be back. And you just
next year.
And it's been, 12 years of misery. I was at that game against the Raiders in 2008, where we lost our 4th straight to miss out on the playoffs that following year.
Yeah.
And again, little did I know, I went on a cruise the week after or a few weeks after and saw that Gruden was fired. And, then the rest is history. It's one of those things where I'm trying to keep it in context of, man, it's been a long time, and we don't know when we're going to be back here. So I agree with the Corey before me that it's the time to enjoy it. And I want to say congrats to everybody listening, everybody watching, and in the chat, and you, Ren, and Brent.
Brent's in the chat. Brent's in the chat.
Hey, Brent. Especially content creators like you guys. I know what it's like to create content around a team that sucks and does not. And we're talking about the draft in December. We're not talking about playoffs. And here we are. This is what we always wanted. So I'm happy, guys, and I just wanted to share that and bask in it with you.
All right. Well, thanks, man, and congratulations to you. You know, I know that there's been a couple tweets going around, right before the game, but like the last time the Bucs made the playoffs, like the first iPhone was just introduced, like it was like less than 6 months old. Yeah, like so, like smartphones did not exist the last time. No one owned one. Put it that way.
Oh yeah, Facebook had like 1 million monthly active viewers. I think it was just barely opened up to not college people at that point. I mean, we can keep going.
MySpace ruled the world.
MySpace ruled the world. It was a time.
Bill and Ted were considered cool.
Yeah, man. So anyway, I gotta go. Gotta get this little one crying.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in, and congratulations to you too. And enjoy it up there.
Yeah, man.
Put that flag out front.
Will do. Go Bucs.
Right, go Bucs. Thanks, Corey. All right. Well, that leaves us with. I'm trying to do some fancy stuff. Nope. Okay. That leaves us nobody, just me. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link again down in the chat. There we go. All you gotta do is click on that, and then it'll bring you right into the waiting room, and then I can bring you in the show. We'll talk some Buccaneers. It's really hard to, sort of talk about this game as it is moving forward. As I talked about earlier, like it's really, the NFL is really a week-to-week league, and you can't take anything offensively and defensively, what they did in this game, and sort of apply it to what you're going to see or hope you're going to see in the Atlanta game in the playoffs. But the Bucs did exactly what they should have done. Like they looked as good as they were supposed to do. So just imagine, even if we won the game, we won it like 27-24, and it was kind of like the Falcons game, and people be freaking out. So you can't say we're king of the mountains here, but you can be happy in doing and seeing what they did, because they just took it to them big time. I really wonder how much of a factor it was for not having like those 6 coaches that didn't show up. Because like a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, play callers on both sides. But again, they did what they were supposed to. A little hiccup on the first drive, both by the offense and the defense, but the Lions bailed them out. They had a sack on Brady, but it was offsides, and then he ended up picking up the first down the second try and marched down the field. And of course, they missed the extra point. Why wouldn't they? And then what was it? Yeah, the Lions went for it like on 4th and 1 and got it, or 3rd and 1 and got it. But no, it was third. And was it 3rd or 4th and 1? It was 3rd and 1, and JPP looked like he jumped, and then they called it on their tackle, and they made it 4th and 5. Yeah, that's what happened. It was 4th and 1. They're going to go for it. Made it 4th and 5, so made them punt, and then the route was on. Again, I was really excited about Vaughn today. That stuff that BA's been talking about, how he's been coming on like gangbusters, and he's looked like this and he's looked like that in practice, and it was really good to see. It was good to see. He had some nice jump cuts. I liked his reads. The one time when he was getting bottled up. Hey, Marco, I'll get you in a second. The one time he was bottled up, on the inside, he went way around outside. I'm like, oh, this is not going to do well, because like those plays rarely work, because there's just so much speed in the NFL, on both sides of the ball now. But he got around the corner, turned it up, and got like 3 yards and turned it into 2nd and 7. I was really pleased with the way Vaughn ran. Always falling forward, not leaving any of those hidden yards out on the field that Fournette did, or does, or will, or can be. But again, he had that great drive, being fed the ball by Brady, and punched it in from score from like the 6. So, kind of like last week. Like I didn't really like the way he played last week, but he scored 2 touchdowns. I don't like the process, but I like the the end product. So now we're gonna bring in Marco live from somewhere.
Believe it or not, Serbia.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, hey, all right, man.
From Atlantic Ocean. I'm sorry for my English. It's as you can see, far from good, but I believe you can understand me.
I can.
Okay, that's good to hear. So finally, after 13 years, we are going to see Buccaneers in the playoff, and that's a good thing. I do believe we played this game pretty well, and hopefully those slow starts are not going to come again for us.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys been talking all season, and with which I agree, throw the ball to Mike Evans and good things will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we need to have a rush attack ready. We need to have throwing the ball to Mike Evans and include as much as we can Chris Godwin in throwing game, because I believe those two can win us more games than shallow passes to running backs.
Right.
Those things, I know Brady likes those things, but it's not working in our design. I don't know why. I'm not that good at football knowledge, but I do believe we need to have some intermediate routes, 10, 15 yards passes, not only going for the fences every time, but basically let's try to have 10 or 15-yard passes using the middle of the field with Godwin and Gronkowski, and that in that way, I believe our attack can go on. I have to say that this year, overall, and I know you guys have been critical towards Donovan Smith, but whole line, I believe, have been played good.
Yes,
especially opening the holes for the running game, and the last 3 or 4 games they have been really, really good in passing game, and we could see against Atlanta when Donovan Smith is not there, left side of the line is even worse than with him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Marco. We do bang on Donovan Smith, even though he's put together a couple of games now. Even the one with his bum foot, I thought he played well. And then when Wells was in there, it was like, okay, it was really Wells and Gronk. Wells and Gronk were blocking the other edge. It wasn't just Wells. And when they did leave him alone, he did have some trouble. Yeah, the offensive line has done good. I would like to see the intermediate passing game too, especially across the middle. It seems that the only way they use the middle of the field now, well, at least lately, I should say, is deep down the seams, down the down the hash marks, where he throws it deep like to Godwin, or he throws it mostly to Gronk. But there's really nothing to complain about this game. They did what we all thought they should do, and they did it. They put up 40, and I don't like, it was 40-7. Yeah, so their offense never scored, even beat up as it was, but they still get paid to play. Marco, how did you become a Bucs fan?
Oh, long story. Basically, the first game I watched was, now it's more than 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Serbian television, and the game was Green Bay against Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
And the commentator had his mouth full of Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So I immediately started cheering for different team, and I remember that Sepp had a sack during that game, and I basically became a fan then. But yeah, I would say that I became the real hardcore fan. This will sound strange, but when we lost that Monday Night Football against Colts,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about that game. But I believe you remember it. No,
I do. I do.
I don't know. Somehow I became hooked completely after that game, and I remember the last two times that we were in the playoffs, Eli Manning beating us, and even before that, that was against Washington when Shepard got a touchdown. That was they said it was incomplete pass. Chris Sims was holding the ball, if I remember it correctly.
Mhm.
And Shepard that caught that pass in end zone, and when he fell down, the ball dropped. It was like 5 minutes before, maybe even less, 3 minutes before game ended. So basically, I remember that was a playoff game against Washington. I'm pretty sure it was 2005, I believe, something like that.
I don't know. I'm terrible with years.
Well, that's how far in the past we need to go to remember Buccaneers playoff games. But,
Yeah.
it will be better this time.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. All we got to do is beat Atlanta, and more than likely we'll get Washington. We beat Atlanta, we get the winner of the NFC East. So it'll either be Washington or Dallas or Philly or
Dallas will not win that. It will be winner of the Washington-Philadelphia game that plays last week.
Oh, okay, there you go. Look, Marco. Your English is great, and your Buccaneer knowledge is awesome too. Look at you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there a lot of fans in Serbia, like NFL fans in Serbia? And do you have any other Buccaneer fans that you know?
Not so much Buccaneers fan, but NFL is pretty popular in Serbia. It became popular some 20 years ago. It's still not as popular as basketball or football. When I say football, I mean European football.
Yeah.
Football. Yeah. But there is a huge amount of people watching NFL, and I was even surprised. I believe Super Bowl is extremely viewable, or however you're going to say. A lot of people are watching Super Bowl here and playoff football also. Unfortunately, most of the people here, well, not most, but majority of the people here are cheering for either Patriots or Packers. Those are two most popular teams in Serbia. Basically, it was football became popular when Brady and Belichick started Patriots dynasty, and they became Patriots fan for some reason.
Right.
People like winners. What can I say? And for some reason, Green Bay Packers had a lot of fans. A lot of people that started following football before it was broadcast on Serbian television, they were mostly Packers fan.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah, I met 4 or 5 maybe people that cheer for the Buccaneers besides me. And my 2 great friends that watch football with me, one is Eagles fan, other one is Jets fan, and they are worse than us. So,
yeah.
I mean, Jets, not the Eagles. The Eagles are, unfortunately, they're better.
Who, the Eagles? No.
Yeah, not this year, but overall. You remember at the start of the 2000s with McNabb and...
oh, yes, I do. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, but I also remember the end of McNabb.
Oh,
the end of the vet. So
the last game on what was the name of the Veteran Stadium? What was the name?
The Veteran Stadium? Yeah, the vet.
Last game of that, and then first game on is it Lincoln Field, right?
Yeah, it was like Lincoln Financial.
Lincoln Field. Yeah, the first game next year. Buccaneers also visited and win that game too.
Yeah. All right, Marco. I tell you what, man. Like, your English is great, and I'm impressed by your Buccaneers knowledge. You got anything else for us before you say adieu?
I just want to thank you, both you and Brent, who was a great host, and hopefully he will be joining you in the future. Maybe not as a host, but as occasional guest. and you guys you guys just keep going. And one question just for you before I go. In my opinion, I think adding Antonio Brown is not adding anything to our attack. I do believe we would be as good or even better without him. Do you agree with me, or do you think he brings something special to this offense?
He does bring something special to the offense. Not necessarily what his production has shown so far, but what Antonio Brown does is he makes the first person miss. Like he can make people miss in space. That's why he, like, if you're gonna throw like a smoke route or a tunnel screen, like you throw it to Godwin because he makes you tackle him, or you throw it to Brown because he makes the first guy miss. And I think as if this goes the way we hope it goes, which is say we beat Atlanta, then we beat whoever we meet in the NFC East, Eagles, Washington football team. By the time that next playoff game rolls around, like I think the Brady to Brown, because every week it's gotten a little stronger. That pass that he threaded in there to him today was like, I mean, that's chemistry. That's the kind of pass that you throw to somebody you absolutely trust. You're talking about, Corey was talking about with Mike Evans. You need that trust with that receiver. And I think Brady wants him. I think Brady's there to make him succeed. And I also think a little bit that once Brady's all done with football, he can point to Antonio Brown and be like, this is what TB12 did for this guy. Like, he was going to jail for the rest of his life and out of the league. He followed the TB12 way. Just imagine what it can do for you.
Yeah, that might be the part of his legacy that he wants to have on his resume.
Yeah, I think that's kind of part of it. But I get as far as production with the deep ball with Scotty Miller and how they weren't really hooked up early on. And there were some plays where it looked like Antonio Brown wasn't really sure where to go. They misread like a deep ball early on. And then when he came out of the backfield on that wheel route, Tom threw it in a fade. Antonio Brown turned around like in the flat. So I know there's some miscommunications there. And he wasn't getting, he was getting like 6-7 yard passes. And then sometimes Tom would miss them on a crucial third down and be like, why is this guy in here? Our leading receiver, when he got here, Scotty Miller's on the bench. And he gets the ball deep. So he brings something. I'm not going to sit here and say that without him, the offense would suffer as far as points and production, but he does bring something to that receiver room that they don't have a lot of, and that's yak. They don't have a lot of yak guys. You got Godwin, and that's it.
Yeah, Evans is everything, but not the yak guy.
No yak for Mike. Even though he was trying today, you could tell he knew he was close. Every time he got the balls in that second half, he was like trying to run through 3 or 4 people. And
we also throw a couple of screens to him. That he tried. He was like 6 or 7. Took 6 or 7 yards on those passes.
That's all he needs, man. Like in that second half, they were just trying to get him nice, easy. Trying to take chunks away, 6 yards, 12 yards, like trying to whittle it down to see what they had to get to at the end of the year. And I think somebody said it's something like 40, 50 yards, something like that he's got left.
40, exactly.
30?
Yards. Yeah, he's at 960 right now, so exactly 40 yards.
Yeah, he can do that. Like, even if they force feed it.
He's actually, I don't know, since I wasn't here for the first 2 minutes, maybe you mentioned it, but he's Buccaneers not recorder, what's the word? He has most touchdowns scored as a Buccaneer. He tied Mike Alstott with 61 overall.
Oh, no, I missed that. I didn't know he was the overall leader.
Him and Mike Alstott right now have 61 touchdown score as the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and Brady set the record this week for franchise, and will continue to add to it for touchdowns thrown. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Even though the Bucs are probably gonna end up.
That's all good. It's
all good, man.
Yeah, let's then beat Washington, and then I believe it's going to be Saints in the round 2 of the playoffs.
Good. We're gonna break 19 ribs on that guy.
I want them.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for having me for this long. keep doing what you do, and we are going to watch you from Serbia and the rest of the Europe, not only England. Whole Europe likes to watch American football.
Yeah, they do. And so we're gonna count on you to get the PewterCast name out there. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, listen, you should try to hook up with the Bucaholics and get a Serbian Buccaneer club, because they have like a Florida Bucaholics and a California Bucaholics, and like sort of like like go on the internet, look up Bucaholics, and they have they have them in New Mexico. They have all these different chapters. And I'm sure and they design your own flag. Like each one has their own flag, like they'll say Florida Bucaholics and have stuff to do with Florida and New Mexico. Like I'm sure they'd be more than happy to set up a chapter up there in Serbia for you and the other 2 people in the whole entire country that are Buc fans.
Well, there is more than us. I believe, as I told you, I made, I don't know, 5 or 6, something like that. Not that many, but we had our meetings here. I was present in the American football since it started here in Serbia. We have our league right now. I'm not part of the league or anything like that, but a lot of kids are training. Unfortunately, they basically stop training when they're 21 or 22 years of age. Mm-hmm. Basically, we don't have professional trainers or anything, but it just keeps rolling. And 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember when, in Division C of the Europe, Serbia took first place, beating Italy in Italy.
Good.
And they should be better than us. So, but we have a physical predisposition to play football. Here in Serbia, people are usually tall and strong. 185 centimeters. It's what, like
6'2",
something like that. Yeah, 6'2" is average height in Serbia.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", and I'm not even close to be tall. Calling tall in Serbia, there are many people taller than me.
What? Why is it like that?
I don't know. We are just tall by nature.
Women don't like the short men, so they just get breeded out.
We don't like short women. Average height for women in Serbia are like 5'8", 9", maybe 5'10". That's average.
Bunch of monsters over there.
One of my colleagues from work, she was over 6 foot.
Yeah, we got to set up some kind of Buccaneers pipeline to get these tight ends and wide receivers from Serbia.
We play basketball, man. We all play basketball.
Yeah. It's such an easier sport to play because all you need is a hoop and a ball and yourself. That's it. Yeah, you can't play football by yourself.
And Serbia is the most successful nation, even more successful than United States on the World Cup in basketball.
Oh yeah,
I believe we are the second best basketball nation, only after United States in the world.
Yeah, no, I knew and forgive me, that's about pretty much. I know most about Serbia is that like. If you're gonna get in a game, with Serbia, like United States versus Serbia, like it's gonna be a game. Like you guys can play some hoop. So,
yep,
that's about all I know.
In World Cup 2002 in United States in Indianapolis, that game was played there, and you guys had guys like Paul Pierce
I remember that.
Yeah,
they came like in 7th that year or something, didn't they? 7th or 8th, the U.S.
They finished. That was quarterfinal. Yes, they finished something like that. Argentina beat them in the group. Manu Ginobili and Scola and guys. Yeah. They beat them in the group phase, and they had to play us in the quarterfinal. And Serbia beat them. We called back then Serbia and Montenegro because political situation in here. I believe you are very well known to that too. Unfortunately, for the last 30 years, people know us because of that, and not because of guys like Jokic or Djokovic. But It will become better. We will be good guys once again.
Yeah, it all works in a circle.
Yes.
Well, thanks a
yes.
lot, Marco. I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the basketball conversation. I don't even like the political conversation, man. Anytime you want to call back, you can. Okay, buddy?
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and have a nice holidays.
You too. Happy holidays. Marco from Serbia. For the first 5 minutes, I thought he was calling from Siberia because I'm stupid. And then I was trying to think of what the Serbian flag was, and I kept the flag kept popping in my head was Croatia. I'm like, no, that's Croatia. Like, don't say that to Marco because because that's Croatia. That's not Serbia. Well, I'm going to drop the link one more time while I start to wrap this up. If anybody wants to jump in and talk, more than welcome to. But I'll be quite honest, it's the holidays and dinner is ready, and I'm ready to go out and eat. And I know it's a little shorter than most. Apparently, we have trolls out today. I missed most of them. Sorry about that. But hey, listen, guys, Bucs make the playoffs first time in 13 years. Mike Evans is well on his way to getting that 1,000 yards. Tom Brady looks sharp as ever. Antonio Brown looks like part of the team. Leonard Fournette at least looks like he can be suitable, at least to fake a running game going forward in the last game against Atlanta and in the playoffs. Keyshawn Vaughn got in there, looked as good as just about anybody else has in the backfield all year long. Chris Godwin did Chris Godwin things. Cameron Brate got the ball. Tanner Hudson got the ball. Gronk was being Gronk. The offensive line played well. The pass rush was back again. Anytime, Devin White, hey, man, it's like get that cat, and that cat's the back. Like I will put Devin White and have him shadow Kamara all game long. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So I thought the linebackers played well. Sean Murphy-Bunting back in Detroit, he didn't have a devastatingly bad game or even a bad game. I thought he had a pretty good game. Jamel Dean looked like he wanted nothing to do with run support early, but then came on a little bit. And Winfield and Whitehead both made a couple of splash plays. So again, don't get excited and talk about how the Bucs are the best team in the NFL. But you know what they did? They did exactly what we wanted to do. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They took a team that was on the ropes, that was limp, that was crawling on all fours towards the end of the season just so they can go play golf. And we walked up behind him and stepped down their neck and then shot him in the back of the head with a shotgun. And that's what we did. So we win. Bucs win. Bucs win 1,000,000-0. Thanks everyone for joining me, all the over 140 of you. Our next show, I have to get in touch with Brent exactly, but it should be somewhere around Wednesday. I've got some things rolling in the background about what I'm going to be going on next. I will not be leaking out clues or anything like that, but of course, if anyone has any questions or has any comments or thinks, this would be a good idea for the show, a change here or a change there, you're welcome to slide in my DMs. And where can you do that? The best place to find me is on Twitter at Rendaxt, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football. But again, if you feel like your take is too hot and don't want to put it out there in the Twitter sphere, feel free to slide in my DMs and I'll talk Buccaneers football there with you as well too. I messed that up. Anyway, hello everyone out there. Brent, Bucs fans, everyone, we did it. It's been 13 years. We're back at it. Let's beat the Falcons, get that 5th playoff spot, and head up to Washington. And their defensive line is good, but their offense is terrible. So we'll win like 24-0. So that'll do it. See you later. Go Bucs.